I'm Mike Lewis and you're listening to MEI Radio. Technology is playing an increasing role in sport. Cricket, tennis, rugby union and rugby league have all initiated referral systems aimed at helping the on-field officials during play. However, one sport has so far refused to embrace any form of referral system, and it just happens to be the biggest sport in the world, football. So to discuss the reasons why and to consider what the future might hold, I've been joined by Phil Lyons, Director of International Broadcasting at the Premier League, who's responsible for selling the rights around the world and producing the international feed. Phil, the Premier League was involved in pitching the idea of technology to the international board, but you haven't got anywhere yet. Why do you think football seems so reluctant to embrace technology?
I think football is clearly in a different position to some of the other sports you've mentioned, Mike, primarily because football is not a stop-start sport. If you look at cricket, tennis, and even to some degree rugby union, all of them have more natural breaks in play than football. So the first challenge to football is how to embrace technology without stopping the natural flow. The Premier League certainly is not anti-technology. We really do want to embrace technology. I think we do have to ensure, however, that we do so in a way which doesn't disturb the flow of the sport. And perhaps that's one of the reasons why it's been slower to embrace technology.
But something like Hawkeye, which is used in tennis, can be used to sort out controversial goal line decisions. Results in football now are so important, so in terms of points, getting to cup finals, money, that it's ridiculous that the sport shouldn't embrace goal line technology to decide whether the ball was over the line or whether it wasn't over the line. There have been so many controversial incidents. Hawkeye could tell you that in 5 seconds flat. You wouldn't have to wait 10 minutes to discover it.
Actually, I can tell you that Hawkeye could tell you in under 3 seconds. We do believe that if technology is going to be embraced by football, that the obvious first step is with goal line technology. And we tested that, not in full matches, but we conducted private tests to which the international board members attended and looked at. And we then went to the international board with the results of that test and asked for it to be approved. And the next step would have been to have been able to trial that in at a lower level. And hopefully, if it had passed that lower level, I mean a lower league, then we would have introduced it in the Premier League. Hopefully, that wouldn't have taken too much longer. As for why the international board turned down our proposal and has decided it didn't want to go down that route, I think that it came at a time when there were a lot of politics in play in football and perhaps a little bit of tension and friction between the Premier League and our counterparts at FIFA and UEFA. And unfortunately, I think that this proposal fell foul of that tension. Hopefully, some of that tension has gone away and that we're now in a better position to go back and take another look at it.
What about technology for other things, such as was it a foul in the penalty box or was it just outside the penalty box? Was there a foul on Cesc Fabregas by Darren Fletcher or did he get the ball? Apart from goal line technology, do you think that football will embrace other technology more in the future during the game and after the game?
As you know, Mike, in this country, you can use video evidence, but
yes,
only when the incident is deemed not to have been dealt with on the pitch by the referee at the time. It's all a question of the first step, and I think that first step is goal line. I think there are some obvious, very natural follow-ons from that. So, for example, I would have said, if you're going to use the technology to establish whether a ball had crossed the line, then the next obvious one is, was a foul inside or outside the penalty area, because it's a similar technology. I've heard one suggestion that each team can make one appeal per half, in which case you would have some referrals to the using technology, but not that many. And of course it adds an interesting tactical and strategic dimension as to when that team would use their appeal, as is the case in tennis. The critical step is the first use of technology. And I'm absolutely sure that as soon as you use technology for one aspect of the game, there will be a lot of consideration for whether we should use it for others.
And give me a time frame on that.
I think you'll see goal line technology being used in sport at the highest level within the next 3 years.
Phil Lyons, thank you very much.